Hello, let's discuss types of muscle cells. There are three types of muscle cells which we find in your muscle organs, and we classify these types of cells based on two criteria. Okay, so types of muscle cells or fiber types. The criteria we use to classify them is one, based on the speed of the ATPase. That's in myosin. Remember, that's the enzyme that converts ATP to ADP and PI. Okay, so this enzyme speed is what, so it can be a fast ATPase versus a slow ATPase. And the fast one can be 4 times as fast as a slow one. So basically the idea is if your cells have a fast ATPase that can quickly make this reactant, then they can more quickly form a cross bridge and cycle faster. So fast ATPase means faster cycling, quicker cycling. And the second criteria is based on what pathway is used to produce ATP. So pathway to ATP. Okay, you have what's called the glycolytic pathway. This one is involves very few reactions, so less steps involved, but it gives you low yield, low levels of ATP. But still, muscle cells use this pathway when they're desperate or just, it's almost sometimes they prefer because they may not have the enzymes to do it the other way. So this way is a quick way, but it's low yield of ATP, which means that they fatigue faster, versus the oxidative way, where you make a lot more ATP is produced, but it's slower because it takes more steps to get the ATP generated. All right, but again, this largely depends on what you get. Because if you have more cells with the proper enzymes to make this work, they'll do it this way. But sometimes the cells don't have the enzymes to go this way, so they're forced to do it this way. All right. So when you combine these two criteria, you can get 3 types of cells. So let's look at the types of muscle cells you get. So we have your what's called slow oxidative fibers, also called your type 1 fibers. Okay, these cells will have slow ATPase, which means will not be ready for sprinting, but they make ATP the oxidative way. So oxidative pathway to ATP. So because they have a lot of ATP being made, they are slow to fatigue. They're almost fatigue resistant. So in these cells, if this was, say, tension and time, over time, let's say here 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, here 60 minutes on, they will still give you the same power over time. They would not fatigue. Even after 60 minutes, they're still giving you maximum power. Okay? So these are said to be fatigue resistant. So type 1 fibers are fatigue resistant, usually found in your posture muscles. I can stand for 4 hours without fatiguing because the muscles of my posture are slow, but they last forever. They're fatigue resistant fibers. Okay, let's try another one. You can look at, let's try to keep on the same board. Let's get rid of it. You have your fast glycolytic ones. These have the fast ATPs, also called type 2B fibers. These are fast ATPase, and they make ATP the glycolytic way. So the glycolytic path, which means they have low ATP levels, which means they will fatigue easily. So they're fast, but they fatigue quickly. Okay, so in here, this is the case here. We have 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, up to, say, up here, 60 minutes up here. By the time you get 2 minutes or so, they're already fatigued. Okay. So they fatigue quickly, but they're powerful and quick. So you may find these a lot, in your, say, biceps brachii muscle, your quadriceps femoris muscle, your triceps brachii. These muscles in the appendicular parts of the body, which are used for quick, rapid movements. Those muscles are fast movements, but they fatigue quickly, okay? Because they quickly run out of ATP. So those are your fast glycolytic fibers. Okay? And then the third type of fiber you have, these fibers are usually acquired over time, over training of the body. You may convert some of your type 2B fibers into type 2A fibers, which are called your fast oxidative glycolytic fibers, where they have fast ATPase, right? And they combine both oxidative and glycolytic pathways, meaning over time you have trained your cells as well as to trigger some kind of genetic changes in your cells to provide the appropriate enzymes required to make these cells use this pathway as well. So this is what's added. This is the added pathway to the cells from here. So you're converting type 2B to type 2A fibers. Okay, you want that. So here, these cells have intermediate resistance. So now they may last up to, say, maybe 8 minutes or so before they fatigue out. So you can get good, good responses about here, then they die out again. You'll still never be like the slow fibers, but they can last a little bit longer. Okay. So intermediate resistance. And this is what you train your muscles to do, to convert some of your fast ones over to your fast intermediate ones. They're still fast, still powerful, but they can last longer. So you don't fatigue as quickly. Now, so these are the 3 types of muscle cells you'll find. Now, in a particular muscle organ, you may have all 3 types in that muscle organ. Okay, so all types can be in the same muscle organ, but within a motor unit, you can only have 1 type per motor unit, but only 1 type in a motor unit. Remember, you may have 1,000 motor units in 1 muscle organ, right? And each unit can only have 1 type, but the entire muscle organ can have all 3 types there hanging out, okay? And depending on who you are, your genetics, what you inherit at birth, that determines how you can perform. A sprinter would have a lot more type 2A fibers at birth in their quad muscle than, say, a person who's a good marathon runner. And so right there from the onset, you kind of being put in a certain pathway as to what you can and cannot do physically, based on what kind of muscles you inherit from your parents. Okay, we'll stop there.